So I'm gonna give a review of Aaron Rodgers' new documentary on Netflix called Enigma because I just watched it, and there's 3 parts to it, and so you guys can check it out. And so basically, he shares a lot of things in this documentary. He's always going back and forth between the beginning of his career and kind of where he's at currently. So in the beginning, he's kind of just talking about him getting his start, loving to play football and everything, him having to go to Butte Community College because, you know, they didn't believe in him because he hadn't like fully grown and stuff yet. He balls out there. He goes to Cal. He talks about the draft situation, thinking he was going to be drafted by the 49ers. Ultimately, they don't end up taking him. The Packers end up taking him. The whole situation with Brett Favre and everything, you know, and just the position that he was in at that time because Brett Favre was toward the end of his career, having to sit for a few years and all that stuff. And then Favre said he was going to retire, and then he should have come back, and then they said we're moving on. So there was that. He talks about winning the championship and, you know, how that was important for him. He talks a lot about how he's a perfectionist, like so many times. We fucking get it. Like 5 or 6 times he talks about how he's a perfectionist and he has to learn how to let that go, and he's very hard on himself and all those things. So he talks about that. He talks about the struggles kind of with his public life and stuff like that, how he wanted to be private in the beginning, but then he kind of realized the nature of what he does as a quarterback. He's going to have to be in the light, so he started doing more interviews. He started enjoying it. He talked about this one lady, and basically she went to the airport to get his autograph or something, and he walked past her, and there was some controversy behind that, but he said that she came the week before he signed and everything, and he said that people took that situation out of context. He talked about his family and how he had issues with them and how he grew up religious, and he started questioning things, or something about with him with RFK Jr., how he was considered to run for VP with his ticket, which was a bunch of BS. So it was that. And then with the family situation, he said that one of them, they went on this dating show. I don't remember what it was called, but basically they left 2 open chairs, and I was kind of dissing him, and so he felt slighted by that. He hopes that he can kind of get on good terms again with his family and everything, but, you know, that's why the relationship is strained. And we also do see him going, and I don't remember what it's called that he does, but he goes on these retreats, and I'm sorry, it was crazy. It was crazy what they were doing. The part that got me was whenever they were like in the tents, he was like all rolled up on dirt, and then they went in that nasty fucking puddle. You have millions of dollars. Why the fuck are you doing this? And I get he says it's for spiritual enlightenment or whatever, and helps him clear his mind, but there's got to be a better way to do it than these retreats. You see them, you know, getting painted on and spiritual connection, and they're, you know, singing Kumbaya. So, you know, that's kind of vibe with him. And he basically just says that it took him time to learn how to express his emotions, essentially, and that this helps him. It's kind of a reset. He talks later about how he was considering if he even still wanted to play football and everything. He went on this retreat. He came out and was like, I want to play for the Jets. So there was that situation as well. He talks about how hard the playoff losses have been for him and all that stuff. He talks about the entire situation with Jordan Love and him getting drafted and kind of how he felt about that, and basically said it was, you know, kind of tough, but he just accepted that. And then whenever Jordan Love did, you know, come over there, he was trying to embrace him as much, answer his questions, and just give something that he didn't have in Brett Favre, because Brett Favre wasn't really doing that with him. And there is a part where Brett Favre does come around, and, you know, they kind of have a conversation, and Brett Favre said something at the beginning when Rodgers joined, like, it doesn't say have to train him to play, and Favre was saying he didn't mean anything by that, and it seems like, you know, they have settled their differences, but he's going to hell because of the welfare scandal, and because he's a Trump supporter, and because he sent dick pics to some woman who was working for his team at the time. So Brett Favre going to hell, I don't care. So that was a situation as well to talk about, and kind of talking about the end of his time at Green Bay and how hard that was for him, and breaking his thumb. You see all the NFC championship game performances that he wasn't able to cash in on, him being frustrated about all those playoff losses, and him saying that it took time to kind of accept himself as he is and everything, because he took those losses to heart and everything. So that's part of it. And so I'll definitely say that. And one part in this documentary that really pissed me off, and I can't believe it took me this long to get to it because I've been rambling, is the part whenever he's talking about the whole COVID situation and everything, and basically he got asked, like, are you vaccinated? And he said, I'm immunized and all that stuff. And once people found out that he really wasn't, he got a lot of backlash for that and everything. And it just pissed me off the way that he responded to it. He was like, the team knew I wasn't vaccinated and all that stuff, and he was trying to act like he didn't imply that he was. You said you were immunized, and the way that you answered that question, you answered it vague enough to where we thought that you were. Stop acting like you're not. putting people at danger and stuff like that. Like, that is something that is important to disclose. Just say, like, no, you're not, and accept the fallback of that. But to say that and everything, like, no, you're putting people at risk. And I didn't like the way that he answered that. I didn't like the way that he just thought that we should automatically assume that he wasn't, and acted like we were all idiots, and acted like he was being clear. You know exactly what you're doing with the phrasing of it and all that stuff. So that stuff really pissed me off, that entire situation and everything. And so he went out in public and stuff like that. He got COVID. He missed the game. Again, selfish. And then there was this one thing about him, and he was going to golf and everything. And then this one woman who was like a healthcare worker basically just said, like, I'm in healthcare. I had to get vaccinated, and you just book out for people that should be able to do what they want. And that woman annoyed me. You are a healthcare worker. Are you helping other people with their health? Of course you're going to have to get fucking vaccinated. I don't get people who go into healthcare and they are so fucking selfish. You're trying to help other people. How are you going to help other people? You got COVID and all these other diseases and all that stuff. You were working in healthcare. That is the whole point. So her whole stance on that situation very much irritated me because of where you work and the whole context behind that situation. So you had that as well. And yeah, just a lot of flashbacks in his career there. You see his time with the Jets. He talks about how the Achilles situation was very hard for him, and just like mentally trying to get through it and everything, and not being able to help his team. So we see that and everything, and him trying to improve through that and have some team around. He was going to try to come back, but they weren't making a run anyways. And then we kind of see like his first game and everything against the 49ers, which he didn't win this season. So you had that moment as well. So yeah, overall, I feel like those are kind of like the big main chunks from this documentary, at least that I can remember. I just watched it, so I feel like I'm pretty fresh on it, but there might be some other big parts that I'm forgetting. So if there are, then I'll probably put them on the screen throughout this video in a pinned comment if you see this on YouTube, or in the comment section on TikTok. But yeah, overall thoughts on this documentary, because I did a lot of rambling and everything. I did enjoy watching it in the sense that I wasn't there for his entire career and everything, because I just got into the NFL like this past, like last season basically, and like watching it and everything. And so it's always good to do catch up for people who have been instrumental to the game in some fashion. If I would have been watching it this time, this documentary probably wouldn't have been necessary to me, because it's kind of ironic, as people said, it's called Enigma when you know a lot about him, because he never shuts the fuck up. So yeah, it was kind of good to learn my history, and that's always something that I'm trying to do. I like these sports documentaries and stuff like that. And so that's why I watch. And this documentary is definitely PR to get you to kind of love Aaron Rodgers and everything that he's done to the game, and appreciate him and all that stuff. You got a lot of teammates and stuff speaking positively on him. You got Matt LaFleur, you got Mike McCarthy, you got Devontae Adams. Everyone that's like worked with him in his career are coming to say positive things about him. So it's basically just PR. It's basically just PR. But, you know, I didn't like Aaron Rodgers before the documentary. And then there was a point watching the documentary, and I'm like, maybe he's not so bad. But getting to that, you know, vaccine stuff, it just pissed me off all over again. And it's just so funny how he wants to act like, oh, I'm so team first and I'm not selfish. But every single time they lose, he completely throws his teammates under the bus and doesn't take accountability whenever it is necessary and everything. And so, yeah, I just don't like him as a person. He's egotistical, he's a diva and stuff like that, and it was cool to get to learn more about the career and things behind it and stuff like that that I wasn't privy to. So yeah, I don't know. As someone who doesn't like Aaron Rodgers, I enjoyed it. It was good to learn and everything like that. Like I said, I still don't like Aaron Rodgers and everything. I can give respect for, you know, respect is due for his career and winning the Super Bowl and what he's been able to do. But, you know, as a person, he irritates me, and, you know, it is what it is in that regard. So let me know if you guys are going to be watching this documentary. Have you already watched it? What do you think? But yeah, there's 3 parts, and those are the big things that I can remember after watching it, and we can continue that conversation.